All right, hey guys, it is day 6 of our online learning. This is Miss Lastly and Miss Markert's video. Today we're going to do intro to series, so get ready.
So, like Miss Leslie said, we are doing intro to series today. As you can see, I already have a YouTube video linked. That is the last part of what I'm talking about today. And I have an easier way to do it on the calculator that I'll talk about at the end. But if your calculator, for whatever reason, doesn't do it the way mine does, hopefully that video will be helpful for you. The guy's really boring, but it's good info. So, and you can actually see what he's doing on his calculator. So I'm just going to leave that there for you guys if you need it. All right. So that being said, let's just jump right in. So today we're doing series, and then we're finding partial sums of series. It should be pretty easy. We're taking basically what we learned last week, and we're just applying a small concept to it. And your homework is only 8 questions, I believe, is how long I made it this week. And it's pretty guided, so it should be pretty easy to follow. So today we're talking about series, and a series is basically just the sum of terms in a sequence. So all those equations and the sequences that you learned last week, those all still apply here. And you will need the explicit equations. We'll see that in a sec, but you'll need the explicit equations from last week for this week. So our notation for series is what's called a summation, and it looks like this, more or less. I am terrible at drawing these, so bear with me. And that's called the summation notation. You'll see that a lot in calculus. I think at the end of calculus is when you see that. But yeah, so that's what it is. And then at the top here is your end term, and that just kind of sits on top, and it can be a number, it can be infinity, whatever. The bottom is n equals 1, so this is the start term. And then in front goes your explicit equation of whatever sequence you have. And that could be an arithmetic sequence, it can be a geometric sequence. Either of the ones we talked about last week, that just goes right there to show you which sequence you were using. Okay, so then to find the partial sum of a sequence, what that means is that we will be taking a specified amount of terms and adding them together. So for example, if we want the fifth partial sum, we would be taking terms 1 through 5, adding them together, and then that one number would be the partial sum of the sequence. So let's just write that really quick. So we're adding up a specified amount of, oops, can't spell this morning, in a sequence. So our notation is the same. The only difference is that we will have a number up top. So again, if we want the fifth one, a 5 goes on top. And then we're starting at term number 1, so n equals 1 goes at the bottom. And then you have your explicit equation here. So if we had, for example, 5 n equals 1, and let's just say we have the equation 2n plus 3. So we want all the terms 1 through 5. So then our first term would be 5, our second term would be 7, our third term would be 9, 11 plus 13. So this one was n equals 1, n equals 2, n equals 3, n equals 4, and n equals 5. And this is all equal to 45. So 45 is the partial sum of that sequence, or the fifth partial sum of that sequence. So it's all the terms 1 through 5 added together, and that's what you get for the partial sum. Anything to add, Miss Lastly?
No, I mean, that's it. Just be careful because not all sequences start when n equals 1. Just pay attention. Every once in a while, they will use, I've seen I use instead of n. So it'll be like I equals 1, and then in your equation will be an I instead of an n. That's another common letter that's used for these things. I'm not really sure why they use I sometimes, but they do. Just pay attention. And then, yeah, you're just adding up the terms of your sequence, like Miss Markert said. So if the number at the top is 5, it wants you to start with whatever n term is at the bottom. It wants you to end with whatever term is at the top. And you just keep adding them together. It's pretty straightforward. I know the symbol looks kind of scary, but it's just the Greek letter for S, which just stands for sum. That's all it means. Yeah. So I think that was good.
Yep. And then the calculator video does use I. So when you do see I, just we're using N, but the calculator video, if you do end up needing that, will use I. So just be aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay. That being said, let's look at finding the partial sum of a sequence on a calculator. So if we were using the example that I just did, that's pretty easy to just kind of do by hand because we only have 5 sequences that we need to, or 5 terms that we need to find. But say that was 500 and not 5, that would be a little harder to do by hand because nobody wants to sit there and find 500 terms of sequence and then add them all together. Although maybe you do because we're in isolation. I don't know. Maybe that would be fun, but I don't want to. I'm not that bored yet. So we're going to look at how to do it on a calculator. So what you're going to do, I know you can't see my calculator screen, but if you pull out your calculator, if you have it, you're going to go to the math button, and then you're going to hit 0, and that's going to pop up with essentially it's going to pop up with a box here, the summation notation, a box here, an equal sign, a box here, and then a box in parentheses there. Is what it's going to pop up.
What button was that? Just write it down for them.
Math and then 0.
There you go.
So if your calculator does the change of base 1, it should do this. If your calculator is older, there's a long way you have to do it, which is why I left the video linked because it's from a while ago. So hopefully that one will help you. My calculator does this, so we're going to go with this. So then essentially you just fill in the information here. So you're going to put that term that you want at the top. So here we would put in 5. So let's write this way. So for the sequence above, you would put a 5 in for that box. You would put n in here, and then you would put a 1 into that box. So this is a box. And then in the parentheses, you're just going to put in your equations. So you would put in 2n plus 3 in that box, and then you would hit enter. So let's just do that really quick. Yep, and it gives me 45. I just use the variable x though instead of n because it's easier because you just have that variable button by the alpha. So I just used x because it's easier to hit. But yeah, that's it. So you can use that to find larger partial sums of a sequence, or if you're lazy, you can use it to find this one. Doesn't really matter. But I think that's all we have for you guys today.
Yeah, the homework, because the homework tonight is very walk you through it. It's kind of like guided notes. So I know the last couple of videos we've been doing a couple from the homework, but since today's is kind of very, like I said, guided notes, I think that's it. Yeah, I think you guys should be, this is just a basic intro to sequences, and we'll talk about arithmetic and geometric later this week. But yeah, that's good. Hopefully most of you guys' calculators have the nice feature because it is a bit tedious to have to use the other method. But sometimes you just have to do the hard method if that's the only tools that you have. Yeah.
Or if you since you're at home, you can just find a sequence calculator online if you don't want to use the long way if your calculator doesn't do it.
Yeah. Google is your friend.
Yep.
All right. Well, that is it for today, guys. And we will see you tomorrow with some more notes on sequences and series stuff.
Cool. Bye.